quote from St. Augustine, who said, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page." This afternoon, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling between the subjects of history and chemistry, but also back to France and back through time to meet Ferdinand Hoefer. And we might as well be traveling to Florida in his team. So let's begin. By traveling back to the 19th century. What did science look like at this time? The 19th century was a period of rapid professionalization that saw individuals who dabbled in science transform into professional communities like the French Académie des Sciences. And as science became more and more professionalized, so did those who were writing about science. This timeline shows the first histories of chemistry published in the 19th century, and these were written for other scientists in what was considered high professional science culture. And among these writers is Ferdinand Hoefer, highlighted in red, who is the protagonist of our story today. After reading more of Hoefer's works, however, I began to wonder, does he really belong in high professional science culture on the left side of our tree? Or what if instead he belongs on the other side with low science culture? Let me get rid of this at this time. Okay. The three men shown here, Frederic Monnier, Victor Monnier, and Louis Figuier, were the pioneers of science popularization, or vulgarisation in French. And these low science popularizers were formally educated with advanced scientific degrees, but unlike their high science counterpoints, they decided to address a different public, the people. And all three of these men started out writing reports on what the Academy was doing and published them in the newspaper La Presse. And in doing so, they added discussions of morality and applications of science and reached audiences in the thousands rather than just the hundreds as the Academy did. And Louis Figuier, in particular, is arguably the most successful science popularizer of his time. And he liked to include theatrical elements. You can see an example here with La Terre avant le déluge, the earth before the flood. He grabbed episodes of science history that really caught people's attention and kept them coming back. And so he was wildly successful, selling tens of thousands of copies of his books, and yet he was never recognized by institutions for his work. And we can draw many parallels between the life of Figuier, who started out as a physician and then turned to popularization. We can draw parallels between him and Hoefer, our protagonist, whom the time has now come to formally introduce. Jean-Chrétien Ferdinand Hoefer was born in the village of Doschwitz, Germany in 1811. And he, as he grew up, cultivated a talent with languages, both ancient and modern. He was so dedicated to his studies, in fact, that his health was compromised, showing a devotion to his work that we see again later in his career. A voyage abroad was deemed necessary for his health. And so in May of 1830, young Hoefer, at the age of 20, set off on foot in search of adventure. And what adventure he did find. He and a friend from Germany smuggled themselves aboard a small boat as contraband, intending to sail to London and then the East Indies. However, they were shipwrecked, and so Hoefer found himself trapped in Lille in France during the July Revolution of 1830, and he was conscripted into the regiment of Holyoke, which is based all the way across the country on the southern coast of Marseille. And when this regiment disbanded in 1831, he resolved to walk to Constantinople, but again he was stopped, this time by Turkish mountain men. And so he gave up and he returned to France. And here he settled down and started on a different sort of adventure, one which covered vast intellectual terrains rather than geographic grounds. Upon returning to France, Hoefer started teaching languages in schools, and he also encountered some of the most influential literary and scientific men of his time. And he also attended l'École de Médecine in Paris and earned his medical degree in 1840. And then in 1842, he published the first edition of his Histoire de la Chimie. Now, this history of chemistry, published at the tender young age of 31, was Hoefer's most celebrated work. And it spans from antiquity through the Middle Ages to modern times, but its real strength lies in Hoefer's discussion of antiquity. Because he was so talented with languages, he was able to deal with original ancient texts, and so he offered valuable primary scholarship on the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians. And Histoire de la Chimie sold out all copies of its first edition within 8 years, and its success landed Hoefer on that timeline of professional science culture that we saw earlier. But after Histoire de la Chimie, Hoefer's place in history is rather questionable. In 1940, the historian Georges Sarton gave a critical review of Hoefer's work, and this is what he wrote, and I'll quote, "Hoefer began his literary life with a fine purpose, but obviously he lacked strength. A man with a strong will is like a rotating gyroscope, which is hard to deflect. Hoefer, alas, was not a gyroscope, but rather a weathercock, which publishers could turn by blowing. If he had been more of a genuine scholar, he would not have been so ready to compromise with the world and put himself preferred to starve a little longer or to die. And for having chosen not to starve or to die, Sarton calls Hoefer a Hackwriter. Aside from Histoire de la Chimie, Sarton dismisses the rest of Hoefer's literary production as worthless in the context of high science culture. Sarton's harsh assessment places Hoefer alongside the elite chemist historians, but as a failure who never reached his full potential. This dismissal effectively closed the chapter of scholarship on Hoefer in 1940. But I'd like to open this chapter back up and ask, what if instead Hoefer has a place on the other side of the tree amongst the low popular science writers? So let's take a look at what Victor Meunier, one of the pioneering popularizers, has to say about Hoefer. After leaving the press, Meunier started his own science journal called L'Année des Sciences, and in February of 1859 he wrote an article on Hoefer entitled Pas même académicien, not even an academician. And this article opens up with an overview of Hoefer's vast literary production. He wrote histories and dictionaries in the subjects of physics and chemistry, in geology, in botany, medicine, agriculture, in geography and history, in archaeology, and also in translation. And from there, Meunier goes on to say, and I will translate, "Look at this huge body of work which Hoefer produced. We now anticipate the enumeration of titles and positions which he filled, the honors he received. This article will be much shorter. Which academy was he associated with? None. Which university counts him among its members? None. The public positions filled by him? Zero. It would be too much for someone to do the work and get the credit too. You see, labor for one and reward for the other, and the principle is saved." And in this passage, you can see Meunier bristling with disdain for the injustice of writers like Hoefer receiving no recognition for their laborious efforts, while some academicians who Meunier believed contributed nothing got to bask in the glory of the Académie. And this lack of acknowledgement puts Hoefer alongside writers like Meunier himself, Monod and Figuier, who never got any credit from the high science culture for their work with popularization. Another indication that Hoefer might belong on the right side of the tree with the popularizers can be taken from looking at his publisher, one of them, Louis Hachette. Described by a historian as le fondateur d'un empire, the founder of an empire, Hachette worked with school administrators to publish books for school children. He opened up railway bookstores to increase literacy by lowering prices, and he also established a dependent relationship between editors and writers by making writers salaried employees. Now, Hoefer was one of those dependent salaried writers, and so by following Hachette, we can see that Hoefer would have tailored his books for school children, or at least amass readership, and this would indeed place him along the popularizers. One last piece of evidence to consider is a unique work produced by Hoefer later in his career called Les Saisons, Études de la Nature, the seasons, studies of nature. And this work was first published in 1863, and it's strikingly different from all of Hoefer's other works because of its personal character. It's a call for the appreciation of nature and allows Hoefer's passionate voice to come through. In his preface, Hoefer writes about human curiosity, praising it, and I will quote. He says, "An insect, a blade of grass, a grain of sand can become the point of departure for an inexhaustible series of questions and responses." Hoefer believes this curiosity was crushed by the current education system. He deplored schoolmasters who gave children books full of obscure terms that had nothing to do with remedying this disconnect. Hoefer shows the environment, and he details different plant, animal, and insect species as he worked his way from winter to spring, summer, and fall. He chose relatable subjects that you could understand as a layperson, and then he brought them to life with his invites us to study the Milky Way by pondering the infinite beauty of the skies, or he invites us to stroll through the parks of Paris, to look at conifers, at violets, at deer. And so Hoefer really wrote to entertain and to inform, but also to inspire. And you can see from Bessier's own that, like Didier and the other science popularizers, Hoefer wrote to excite a curiosity and love for nature in people. So where should we situate Hoefer? If we consider his youthful travels and his prolific writing career, we see a man with an adventurous spirit, but who is also very dedicated to his work. If you only look at Histoire de la Chimie and George Sarton's caustic words, then you could cast him amongst the chemist historians as perhaps a failed historian. But if you also look at the words of Victor Lanier, the publisher Louis Hachette, and his work Les Saisons, you could put him alongside the science popularizers of time who loathe science culture. And so to me, Hoefer actually belongs on both sides of the tree, but most definitely does not deserve to be called a Hackwriter. And I think at this point, some of you might be wondering why there's a history talk thrown in the middle of a chemistry session, or maybe you've been wondering from the very beginning. But I think it's very fitting that I'm here today. In our introductory science courses, which are great in college, we actually don't get much exposure to history of science, and I suspect that in history classes, there's not much discussion of history of science either. And I started out in the chemistry lab with these lovely young ladies here, but I stumbled across a philosophy of science class that really made me curious about the stories and the people behind science. And I was lucky enough to have had the opportunity to pursue that curiosity and to turn it into a passion. And I hope that in turn I've inspired some of you today, whether you're in the humanities and sciences, social sciences, or somewhere in between, like I was, to give history of science a chance. And now I'd like to take the time to thank the roots of my tree, my family, my friends, my teammates, coaches, professors, and mentors, including Wei, who has been a guiding light during my time here, and Donnie, who's been a home and a refuge for a lost soul. And without all of your